Greetings and greetings to all. Thank you for joining us again in this 5 element spiritual quest. My name is Master Abdullah Ngom. And today we're going to talk about prayers. What is prayers, who to pray to, and what to pray for. Because often prayers are misunderstood and abused, especially within our religious system, as well as many of self-claimed spiritualists who claim to have the supernatural power to fulfill one's prayers. So we're going to talk about this topic on a spiritual point of view and hope that it will bring some truth to your spirit. So what is prayer, who to pray to, and what to pray for? Prayers. What is prayers? Prayers is basically requesting your needs to be fulfilled by a supernatural power. That's what prayer is in its true sense. Because even with those same needs, when you're requesting those needs to be fulfilled by a human being, by someone, we don't call that prayers. We call that demanding, asking, or begging. Those need to be fulfilled by a person. That's a begging, asking, or demanding. But those needs, when you're asking for those needs to be fulfilled by a supernatural power, that's what prayer is. That's why we're praying to God, to expect our need to be fulfilled by the supernatural power that we expect that the God possess. People pray to all kind of gods. Mold gods, human-made gods, mold by human hands, carved gods out of woods, made by human hands. People praying to this God, even though with the obvious fact that they are human beings. And there's a basic level of understanding that one who made a God with his own hands is more capable than the God itself. But people will ignore this fact as long as they have the expectation that the God they're praying to possesses the supernatural power to fulfill their needs. So that's what prayer truly is. And this is where spirituality is useful, because it can help one, enlighten one, to realize which God to pray to and which God not to pray to. And through the understanding or the enlightenment of spirituality will not take much realization to know that the God who created this magnificent universe can fulfill the need of a human being. People will drawn to anyone or anything that they believe that possesses the supernatural power to fulfill their need when it comes to prayers. That's why many are drawn to many self-claimed spiritualists who claim to have the supernatural power to fulfill one's need. Fortune tellers, card readers, so on, who are no more than fortune takers. And the same custom, we see the same custom happening in many of these worship places that are called house of God, that many think that is where prayer are better heard. For these reasons, many prayers disintegrate into thin air to nowhere. One with a spiritual understanding will never pray to a human-made God. Because human-made God cannot respond to anything unless there's some demonic force in it. Only God that worth praying to is the God who created the architect of this magnificent universe, and does not require a lot of analysis to realize that if God can create what human being cannot create, this God can fulfill more than what human being can ever need for. This is the God worth praying to, the creator of all great things. However, having the ability to answer prayers does not mean all prayers will be granted. Because the God that answers prayer knows which prayer to grant it more than the one who's praying. Because there are some prayers, they are better not to be granted for the greater good. That's why the enlightenment of spirituality is necessary when it comes to prayers. One will know who to pray to and what to pray for. When God said, ask and you shall receive, God did not say to ask what you already possess or what you can get for yourself. You want any materialistic instrument, money, car, house, any materialistic instrument, you don't need prayer. You don't need prayer for that. And if you depend on prayers to have those, you might be disappointed. Because God does not have them, nor would God provide them, this instrument to anyone. God does not make money. People do. God does not build houses or cars. People do. So people who make them can be more useful than God who does not make them, nor provide them for anyone. And there are people who have plenty of these materialistic instruments who don't even believe in God. So when you have a desire of any materialistic instrument, you don't need prayer. You don't need prayer for that. When you are praying for enlightenment, clarity of the mind and cleanness of the heart, when it's sincere, God will answer those prayers. And you don't need anyone. Nothing is required but sincerity. No resources or no places or no custom for that matter is necessary, is needed. Through the clarity of the mind and cleanness of the heart. That's what enlightenment is. And through enlightenment, peace, harmony, and tranquility manifest themselves. And this is what we're praying for. And this is the key of the salvation of all humanity. But unfortunately, most of us when we pray to materialistic instrument. That society cannot seem to get enough of it. Which is the instrument that allow capitalism to enslave humanity by will. Capitalism have enslaved humanity by will through materialism. Materialism have become a curse to humanity. And this is what many pray for. This is the reason many of these religious structures that we call House of God are no different than gambling joint. Prayer are sold. All gods are commercialized. Religion and spirituality was not meant to be commercialized, but unfortunately they have become. Many are cursed by materialism. The only thing they will pray for when they cannot get it for themselves. Materialism have become a great curse to humanity because through materialism, capitalism was able to enslave humanity by will. We value materialism more than God creation because we have seen life senselessly taken through materialism. Life can be senselessly destroyed because of materialism. A great curse to humanity. Humankind value their own making over God's creation. Make their own gods that far more powerful than the God who created, far more powerful through them than the God who created this magnificent universe. Because money is the chief of all gods. the God that many believe to possess, the only God that many believe to possess the power that can fulfill their needs. The only God, the God of capitalism, the God of all gods, a God that humanity worship shoulder to shoulder, a God that humanity show a full submission to, a human man God, to not to be the God of all gods, called money. There's no human-made instrument can be and should be more valued than God's creation. But humanity are consumed and enslaved by will through materialism, his own making. Through enlightenment, one will realize there's no physical, there's no materialistic instrument in this world. There's nothing physical in this world, for that matter, that worth fighting for, dying for, or killing for. Not one. Because through the enlightenment of spirituality, one will realize that this earth, the land of the earth, is vast enough for 3 times the human population. But yet, we're forever fighting about it. And there's enough resources to feed 3 times the human population. But yet, people are dying from starvation. Have the might to explore other planets, but lack the will to provide the resources that is needed in many parts of the world, while it's been trashed in the garbage in one part of the world. Inhuman act of humanity. Inhuman act of humanity, caused by the blindness of lack of spiritualism. Humankind have lost its moral purpose in this world, can only be reclaimed through the enlightenment of spirituality. That only thing that worth praying to, which the God that answers prayer will grant to anyone when the prayers are sincere. Because through the enlightenment, humankind will able to realize salvation. Because through enlightenment, peace, harmony, and tranquility manifest themselves, and through that, salvation is realized. When you're praying to the God that answers prayers, the God, the architect of this universe, if you're praying to this God, pray for enlightenment. Anything else, this God will not grant. Pray for materialism, does not make them, does not have them, and will not grant them to anyone. You're praying for superiority, to be ahead of others. This is not God's style. This God value equality. That prayer will not be answered. If you pray for someone to be harmed, this God will not answer that prayer as well. Because if you make a judgment and expect God to execute the punishment, you'll be disappointed. God does not do no one's dirty work. If you pray for someone to be harmed, it's evil that will answer that call. And when the job is done, believe it or not, it's the work of evil, not the act of God. Enlightenment only, this God will provide when it's sincere. Through the enlightenment of spirituality, the clarity of the spirit, and the cleanness of the soul, one finds one purpose in life. This is what we're praying for, and this is the prayers that God of humanity will answer to anyone when the prayers are sincere. This is what praying is all about. to see one purpose in this life, but not wasting time praying for all these materialistic instruments that society cannot get enough of, which capitalism used to enslave humanity by will. If materialistic instrument was must-have, God himself would have provided them, just as he provided the oxygen, the water, any other element that one would not survive without him in this world, that human did not create and cannot create. But unfortunately, humans are more fascinated by their own making than over God's creation. Because we are more fascinated seeing an airplane flying than the tiny bird that flies without an engine. There's no human-made instrument can be and should be more valued than God's creation. So therefore, I think we're going to leave it here till next time. And as always, till next time, be well and God bless. And again, please, if you have the chance, go to the source itself, the book, The 5 Elements, Quest for the Truth. You can Google it and just take a look and hope that you will find something that is useful to your journey. Again, so thanks again for tuning in, and God bless you all. Thank you.